name's Wayne with the Sun Topical channel. You may know me as one half of the team that presents the Schmoedown Respin, and this is just a discussion thing that I'm trying to do. Maybe we'll do more of these, I don't know. But I'm not a fan of the draft. I'm not saying I could do the Schmoedown better than Christian Arnold. I'm not saying that. It's a wonderful product. I love going to a lot of events. I love the characters. I love the atmosphere he's made. So thank you for that. But everything can get better. And these are 5 reasons why I don't like Schmoedown draft. We don't have any faction-on-faction matches. We have singles, we have teams, yes, but we don't have any complete factions facing complete factions. And I think those matches are really interesting. It'll bring a new dynamic to the Schmoedown. That's a Survivor Series type-esque match. If you're familiar with wrestling, you understand. If we had like 5 faction players from the Finstock Exchange playing against 5 faction members from the dungeon, I think that would be incredible. I think the more personality you throw into a match, the funner it will be. Or if we did like a 5-way where like one player from each faction goes in and gets eliminated, he goes out. The last faction standing wins. Something like that I think would be really fun and add to the faction warfare and be a good way to get points on the table for the team and to have these factions go against each other, because we don't have enough of that. Even in the heyday of factions, when we had the Finstock Exchange and the Fight Club, we didn't see any interaction with them, even though Dagnino and Fight are going at each other on the mic every chance they get, locking her in closets and whatnot. I think we need more of that to make this faction stuff and draft really worth it and bring it to its full potential. My second reason is, with this season, we've seen some matches that the players, they might be nervous, but they don't really seem to be into the game itself. One example, Claudia Dolph. Another example, the Real Rejects. Jim Bavida, who's been in the game 3 seasons, who still doesn't know how to play the game. Having players like this who are just here for fun, that's fine. And sometimes I just need a fun match. I don't need to be fully invested and have to watch every single second of it to like understand storylines or jokes for later on Schmoedown matches. But these people are drafted, so with them being drafted, I'm told I need to care about these players because these matches matter. But when they are just having fun or like not really fully invested into the game like others are, like John Roca, my investment declines with it. So I think we should bring, if you are going to have a draft, bring it down to like 6 maybe. I think that's a sweet spot. And then on like Tuesdays or Thursdays, then you have like the fun match. And then on Fridays you have the faction, always a faction versus faction member match. And have the Thursday match be a proving ground to get your way up into a winning faction to get points for that team. I think that would be a good way to work it. Have like a little minor league on Tuesdays, little fun games, and then Fridays matches that matter for faction points. My third reason for not liking the draft is because the original idea of what a manager is for, and yes, I understand they help them study, etc., but you can have that outside the game and that not be on camera, and I think it'd still be pretty effective. But to have someone like Finstock, who's 10 on 10 out of the microphone, he should be with people who can't really talk that well on the microphone. That's where he shines the most. Not when he's with Roca and talking on the microphone together. Now, because of their history, that relationship is interesting, and I understand why they're together. But you take someone like Kaiser and Smets. Smets, perfect example. Not too great on the microphone. Kaiser destroys the microphone every time he gets on it. That makes that relationship special, and you see the bond between those two. Again, Jay Washington, he's the mouthpiece. Ethan Irwin, not really great on the microphone. That's what makes those relationships special, which brings me into my next point. The fourth reason is I believe it waters down those special relationships that we've made in the Schmoedown already. Kaiser isn't going to have the same relationship with Zipper or Smasher that he has with his 9th draft pick who plays 1 match this year, or Finstock with Cody Hall, or Roxy Schreier with any of her Intergeekdom players. I think that's a good example. In Atlanta, the Intergeekdom match, Finstock, Emily Rose Jacob versus Alex Damon with Roxy Schreier. They just didn't work super well together, and it kind of clashed for me personally. Others may disagree, but personally, it watered down those like meaningful relationships that the Schmoedown has been built in the past, like the Patriots, Dagnino, Crusher, Emma Fife, etc. My fifth and final reason of not being a fan of the Schmoedown draft is because these competitors have lives. We went through 3 or 4 managers so far this season. We've seen people like Drew McWeeny had to leave the game, and then it just leaves a ginormous hole in the gap of his faction. And Sam Levine, what is he going to do? He has to trade for it. Yes, you can say it makes it that interesting, but still, if we didn't have this, you could have just wrote him off, and the game would have went on perfectly fine. Again, same thing with the managers. You can have managers split easy. You lost this game, I don't need you anymore, and then they come back whenever. So have this like constant real life affecting the game and impacting the game. I think it does take away from the storylines and can ruin some storylines. It's already hard enough to write storylines, and when you do write storylines and get invested into them and they get cut short, I think that's letting the fans down. But I do understand, and I do appreciate the time these people have put into the game of the Schmoedown. But this is the reasons why I don't like the draft. It's for discussion. Comment down below if you agree, disagree, what points do you like and dislike. And as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe.